Halloween is easily my favorite time of the year. I always leave my porch light on during this gracious season, but I never buy any candy. The kids don't know that until they run screaming down the steps, usually tripping over each other as they fight selfishly for survival. You see, I just love to put on a scary mask from my ages-old collection before I open the door. I look through the peephole to see my guests, then I'll jump out and render their hearts to mush right in their chests. They rarely ever chant the whole trick or treat before they're falling over the porch. It gives me a good laugh while I'm waiting for the next unsuspecting children. The doorbell rings, and I hastily choose a different mask to scare this new set of victims. I look through the peephole, and what do I see? Nothing more than a single boy. It can't be more than 10 years old. Donning a cute makeshift ghost costume, he seems to be trick-or-treating all by his lonesome. No parents or friends anywhere around. Poor thing. I take off my mask and grab a special piece of candy from the decorative table under the nearby window. I open the door and I'm welcomed by a stuttered, "Trick or treat." I smile and I offer him the candy. He reaches out to take it and I pull away. I tell him he could only have it if he eats it right now. He hesitates, but eventually he complies with my request. He lifts off the white cloth veil, revealing flushed red cheeks and fresh glossy eyes. He grabs the candy, rips off the wrapper, and nearly swallows it whole. I smile. What a delightful boy. I ask him if he liked it. He nods his head, but the nod begins to dull and his eyes begin to close. His legs start to tremble before betraying his body and relinquishing their hold. He falls to the wood of the porch hard. I pick him up and carry him inside. I do love to trick the treaters, to scare them as they come to my door. But what I enjoy the most is when they come alone. Because when they come alone, I get to add a new mask to my collection. I'm almost there. She hit send. Her phone buzzed. I'm here. I can't wait. Go slower this time. She smiled as she typed. The taxi slowed. This is it. She tapped the taxi driver's shoulder. He pulled over in front of a row of crumbling brownstones. She paid her fare and opened the door, long legs unfolding from the cramped back seat. She tucked down her dress as the taxi drove away, teetering on the cracked sidewalk in her high heels. She let herself in with the key and went up to the second-floor bedroom, where he waited for her. She threw herself down on the creaky bed next to Joseph. He worked in the mailroom, took night classes. They've been meeting like this for almost 2 weeks. Same time, same place. Joseph smiled and pulled her close to him. "What did you tell your husband this time?" he murmured into her hair as he kissed her neck. He liked to bring up the fact that she was married. It excited and flattered him. She half laughed. "Let me worry about my husband," she said. Pushing him down onto the bed, she climbed on top of him, her hair hanging down like a curtain as she kissed him hard, pressing the back of his head against the pillow. He slid his hands under her dress. A sharp bang, a roar. Joseph jerked his hand back, twisted his head wildly in the direction of the sound. Through her hair, he could see the figure of a large man. Her husband. She sprang off him, climbed off the bed and onto the floor. Joseph tried to sit up, but her husband was too fast. He was across the room in an instant, his fists crunching the bones in Joseph's face, his teeth ripping out Joseph's throat. He dug his fingers into Joseph's abdomen and pulled out his intestines in glistening ropes. He began devouring great chunks of Joseph's flesh. She sat against the far wall, listening to the snarls and slurps. He sat on the bloody mattress, picking his teeth. She smiled at him. "Thank you for going slower," she said. "You know how I like to watch." My husband and I hired a babysitter for the evening so we could have a night out. This is our first child, so we worry too much to just trust someone with our infant. So we set up a nanny camp to ease our minds. We enjoyed dinner and the walk through the park before returning home for the evening. When we arrived, the babysitter was sitting in the corner shaking, with claw marks all over her. My husband ran over to her and asked her what happened, and I ran to the baby's room. The baby was sound asleep in her crib. I went to enter the room when the door slammed shut in my face. I tried opening it with all of my weight against it, but I could not get it open. The sitter wouldn't say anything. She was too terrified to even move. My husband grabbed the nanny cam and played back the footage. The video showed the sitter screaming at the baby to stop crying, getting so annoyed with her that she picked her up and screamed right in her face, squeezed her tiny body in her hands, put her back down, and shake the crib violently. Suddenly, the babysitter was thrown backwards against the wall and reacted as if she was being attacked by something or someone. She ran out of the room screaming and crying. The crib began to rock, soothing the baby's cry. I was so infuriated. I picked up the sitter by her shirt and slapped her as hard as I could in the face before throwing her out of my house. Our child was saved by some unseen force. We are truly thankful. Now, if he would just give us back our baby. Hello everyone, my name's Mr. Creepy Master. I hope you've enjoyed the stories, and if you did, please consider liking and sharing the video as a pat on the back for a good job. I upload every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so be sure to subscribe for timely updates. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.